Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. If you are first, if this is the first time that you're joining one of my lives, my name is Allison from Align with Allison. I'm a dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with women to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. So if you are coming in, please go ahead and say good morning. Good morning, Mr. No Faith Not Fake. Good morning, elected lady. It's grace that keeps me. Yes, it's grace. It is grace that keeps me. Good morning, Carla. Married and mommy, good morning. Welcome back. Callie, good morning. Welcome back. If there's anybody who is new to the live stream, please introduce yourself so that I can greet you in the land of love. Go ahead, let us know where you're from and what your name is so that you can be formally welcomed. Good morning, Dorothea. Carla, good morning and welcome. Yes, yes, and yes. So, for those who, oh yes, thank you, Married and Mommy. And please go ahead, anybody who is here in the live stream, please go ahead and feel free to share this. Carla is Carlene from North Carolina. Welcome, Callie from Cleveland. That's funny, Callie from Cleveland. Callie, I had a friend when I was in first grade. I want to say it was first grade. Spelled the same way, Kali. I love the name, and she was so pretty and so vibrant. She just reminded me of sunshine. So I always had like in the back of my mind that I wanted to name my kid Callie. Now, my husband has a cousin who has a nickname, which is Callie. He's like, oh, we can't name our kid Callie because that means ruining it for everybody. Good morning, Nadine. Good morning, Kesha. Or is it Keisha? Keisha, you gotta tell me. Busy Bee, welcome. Dorothea's from Lafayette, Louisiana. Yes, I need to go back to Louisiana. I've been to 2 cities in Louisiana. No, it was before COVID. We didn't have any masks on. So maybe like 2 years ago, it was lots of fun. All right, folks. So if you are new to my page or new at all, hi, my name is Allison from Align with Allison. I did this already, but I'm going to do it again. I'm a dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with women to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. I have a bachelor's degree in education. I have a master's degree in counseling. I have a master's degree extension in mental health counseling. And I am a certified life coach with a specificity. I'm sure they don't say it like that, but I don't know, focus or whatever you want to call it, in dating and relationship coaching. Welcome, Dion. All right. Yes. Whoa. Look after. I hope that's it. I hope I got it right. Don't hate me. I love you. All right. So, as many of you are aware, every Wednesday I go live to do a live Q&A. Last week, I didn't know my days of the week. So last week, I was talking the whole time as if it was Wednesday and nobody said anything to me, but I love y'all and it's all good. So last week I went live on Tuesday thinking it was Wednesday, talking about every Tuesday I put in my stories, and I actually put it on Monday, whatever. So the truth is that every Tuesday I put in my stories an opportunity for you guys to ask questions in regards to dating and relationships. And then Wednesday morning, which is today, I go live and I answer those questions anonymously. I also invite anyone who joins the live to go ahead and enter any questions they may have in the question queue, which is at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, a little bubble with a question mark. You click on that, you put in your question. I'm able to open it without showing your name, and then I read it. Well, I read it without your name, of course, and then I answer the question. Now, technology has failed me. Instagram has failed me, and it's A-okay. Normally what I do is I'm able to grab my trusty iPad. I go through my archived stories because by the time I go live, my story had expired. And then I'm able to swipe up and just read the questions and answer it. But for some reason, Instagram is not loading any of my stories past February. So luckily, there's some folks who asked me questions pretty late. So I was able to go through my activity feed or whatever Instagram calls it. And I was able to screenshot some of those questions, which is a good thing. So that I could find them and I can answer them here live, right? But some of the questions that folks asked me early in the game when I first put up the post yesterday is now gone. So if I don't answer your question, I sincerely apologize. If you're here and you asked me a question yesterday and I don't answer it, go ahead and pop it in the queue. Again, it will be absolutely anonymous. And or if you miss this live stream live and you see it later and you see I didn't answer your question, DM me and I'll just voice note you the answer because technology has failed the both of us, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump in and welcome anyone who's just joining. Welcome, Coco. Welcome, Miss Carter. I'm so happy that you're here. Tarsha, welcome. Henry for New York Senate, welcome. And I hope that your campaign is going well. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to jump into this Q&A, okay? Oh, I do have an announcement. So unfortunately, this is going to be the last day for a live Q&A in the morning. So I'm going to be transitioning all of my live streams, including my YouTube live on Mondays, are now going to be Monday nights. And my live Q&A is going to be Wednesday night. So effective next week, I'm going to be doing my live Q&A at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. But I'll post in my stories and on my page and you guys will see. But I'll no longer be doing it in the morning for reasons I should not be saying out loud. But if you know, you know. So, all right, folks, I'm going to go back to the questions that were asked. So, someone asked yesterday, I am in Nigeria. How can you help me? I am in Nigeria. How can you help me? Okay, so I'm going to be frank. A lot of the processes, especially when we talk about dating apps, are not international, right? So I'm confident that there are dating apps in Nigeria. I'm confident that there are dating apps around the world. However, I'm not knowledgeable about any ones that are specific to a country or a region or a continent. So when it comes to some of the practical download this app, answer questions this way, I can't 100% say that kind of content that comes from me is applicable around the world. I can't say that. Also, there are some cultural sensitivities that I might not be aware of, right? So some of the advice that I might advise women to give would be based on an American culture or a westernized culture where someone responding in that way or taking the first step or initiating conversation or asking what your expectations are may be inappropriate or just culturally insensitive for others outside of our westernized or my westernized society, right? So some of the advice, and I have to just be honest, may not be applicable around the world. It may not be culturally sensitive, nor may it just be practical depending on what access you have to different apps and things of the sort. But what I would advise, and I think that some of my other advice is still applicable nonetheless. Some of the other advice that I offer to women outside of cultural sensitivities and offer to people, because really it can apply either way, would be things like knowing your non-negotiables. I talk about this multiple times a week, and it's okay because there are new people who are joining the platform, so this might be news to them. You have to have clarity on exactly what you're looking for before you're able to find it. You have to have clarity on exactly what you're looking for in order to be able to find it. You have to have clarity on exactly what you're looking for in order to be able to find it. So even if we're talking about someone who doesn't necessarily abide by the cultural standards, expectations, rules of a westernized society, in order to find the mate that you're looking for, you have to know what he looks like. You have to know where he is, right? You have to know what you want out of a relationship. So when I work with my clients, literally our pre-homework before they even walk onto a Zoom call is going to be, what are your goals? What are you looking for a relationship to do for you? What are you looking to add to a relationship? I would imagine that would be an international of international value. So to answer the question that was asked, I'm from Nigeria. How can you help me? I do think that a lot of the advice that I offer may be situational or maybe based on location or based on culture. So some things may not apply, right? But there are some basic things like whatever you're looking for in your life, you should have a clear vision as to what that is. If you're looking to make more money, you need a clear vision. Am I going back to school? Am I changing careers? Am I going to become an entrepreneur? Am I going to do a side hustle, right? And if that's the case, creating a plan around it. All right, if I'm going back to school, what am I going to study? How long is it going to take me? What is it going to cost? What are the projections for that career moving forward? If it's going to be, I'm going to do a side hustle, well, what's my natural talent? What's going to help me to be able to make money as quickly as possible? Is it photography? Is it fashion? Is it whatever, right? So in life, and this is again across the board and around the world, in life, if you have a goal, if you have a desire, you have to create a realistic goal around it and then put a plan in place in order to achieve it. A husband is not going to fall in your lap. Your wife is not going to fall in your lap. This is not Cinderella and this is not Disney. It's not. And unfortunately, for those that are in my age range, in their 30s, we grew up with Disney as a part of our life, right? Like one of my favorite movie is Malcolm X. My second favorite movie is, oh gosh, this is my second favorite movie, I can't remember. Forrest Gump. My third favorite movie is The Lion King. So I grew up in this Disney culture, and as a result of growing up in this Disney culture, we have this expectation that folks are just gonna bump into us at a coffee house and spill coffee. You're gonna spill coffee on him. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You're gonna get some stuff. This is not a movie, right? So for every desire that you have to set yourself up for success. How do you set yourself up for success in your career? You went to school, you went to trade school, you got 30 hours, 300 hours, 600 hours if you're a social worker of experience out in the field. You had someone who guided you. You had some kind of mentor. You had some kind of supervisor. You prayed on it. You wrote down your goals. You established a plan. You had friends who you bounced ideas off of and who gave you insight. You paid for a coach. You paid for a consultant. Someone guided you, right? You had a goal, you created a goal around a desire. So it really starts with a desire. You have a desire. My desire is to be married. My desire is to start a new career. My desire is to make more money, right? It starts with a desire. And then from that desire, you then create a goal. My goal is to find my husband. I want a committed, long-term, lifelong relationship with a partner. I want to build a legacy with someone. I want to have children because I think that having children is fulfilling, and that's for me, right? To be able to pass on the knowledge and wisdom that my four parents passed to me. I want to give society a miniature version of Allison and Andrew who's beautiful and amazing and intelligent and can help to change and improve the world. That's what I want. So that's the desire. How am I going to get there? What do I need to put in place in order to get to my goal? Well, some of it needs to be internal because Allison is hard-headed and Allison is sometimes difficult to deal with. And Allison is impatient. I want what I want when I want it. I pay for Amazon Prime. If you tell me it's going to be there in 2 days, I want it in a day and a half. Y'all with me, right? I need to work on some of the things that make me not very easy to be with or not very easy to want to marry. Those are things I need to work on in order to present myself as someone who is valuable to a valuable potential mate. This is not one-sided. This is not, oh, there are no good men. This is not, oh, I'm a terrible human being and I'm not worth loving. This is not one-sided. There are two ways to this. It's a two-way street. I have to be someone who is valuable. I have to be someone who is wanted. I have to be someone who somebody else wants to be around for years to come, right? And then when I am that person, like attracts like. I'm going to attract someone who is lovable, who I want to be around, right? Does this make sense? So to go back to the question I was asked, how can I work with or service those in Nigeria or in another country that's different from our immediate culture? There's some things that won't work, right? Maybe I'm assuming, and Nigerians and other folks, I consider myself African, but you know what I'm saying, like those in the motherland, don't judge me. I'm assuming that an app like Bumble, if it's even available, may not be a good look. Maybe culturally it's not appropriate for women to take the first step, right? I'm just assuming, or I'm giving an example. So maybe my advice in that regard may not work. But some things are a given around the world, no matter where you are, right? Knowing what you're looking for, creating goals. After you have those goals, then creating a step-by-step plan of how you're going to get there, and then enlisting the help of others who have already achieved that goal. If they're already on their way, even if it's just the fundamentals, you look to them. You look for guidance, either free or paid. Y'all got y'all stimmies today. Millions of Americans got their stimmies today. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Cool? Cool. All right. The next question that I received was... The next question I received was, how do you handle a guy who stood you up for a date, our third date, without a call or a text? How do you handle a guy? And please, folks, give me feedback. Thank you, Joseph. And welcome, Coach. Thank you for joining the live. This is Joseph Kemp. How do you handle a guy who stood you up for a date, our third date, without a call or a text? I want to know what you guys think. What do you think? How do you handle a guy who stood you up for a date? It was their third date, no call, no text. So I want to say, first of all, thank you for sharing. And I want to say that you don't handle anything. It's already been handled. It's already been handled. He handled it when he did a no call, no show. Now, I see Reckless and Rich is saying, what happened? What's the reason, right? And obviously, Instagram doesn't give us enough characters to give context. It's already been handled. He handled it when he did a no call, no show. Now, I am not a boss on my job, right? I'm a boss in my business. I'm not a boss on my job. I don't ever want to be a boss on my job because I feel like I would not be liked. And this is why. If you do a no call, no show on the job has been handled by somebody else who I've already called in for interviews who is going to replace you. We're not doing no call, no shows in 2021 or 2020 or 2019. As soon as cell phones were a thing, I got a cell phone at 18. I was year 2000, I think. Oh no, I'm bugging. 2004 or 2005 when I got my first cell phone from Sprint on Montague Street, downtown Brooklyn. Okay. No call, no show. So Reckless and Rich says, how was it a no call, no show? I don't know if you're asking me or you're just asking in general, but she said it was our third date without a call or text, which means it was a no call, no show. So if you don't show up for your job, and if I'm the boss, you don't show up, don't come back. Unless you have been hospitalized or someone has died, and I mean that. You yourself are dead, which means it's already been handled, right? You have been hospitalized, and a serious hospitalization, because how many times do you see people in the hospital taking pictures of their band, not saying what's wrong with them because they want a pity party, which is, come on, how old are you? But unless you are dead, someone has died, or you are hospitalized, he already handled it by letting you know that he is not interested in you moving forward. He handled it. There is no handling. It's already been handled. Because he told you, not only do I have no desire to date you moving forward, but I don't even have the decency to tell you that. And the beautiful thing about text messaging is that it alleviates the pressure. You can literally text somebody and block them. You've informed them. It says delivered. It may even say read. You know that they received the message. You don't even have to wait around to get cursed out. So there is no reason other than their death, someone else's death, or their serious hospitalization that someone can rightfully do a no call, no show on a date. And then you consider giving them a second chance. There are no second chances in this. And guess what? And again, maybe this is, I was talking about Allison being too rough, right? I'm trying to work on my femininity. I'm working with Ask Miss Cassandra on my femininity. Maybe I'm being too rough. But I need to see medical documents. I need to see it. I need to see the discharge paperwork. I want to see the discharge paperwork because I am getting prepared to go out on this date with you, right? I got my bun, right? I redid my lashes. I put on some makeup. Like maybe I bought a new dress with my stimmy. Like how dare you waste my time and think that my time is not valuable enough that you can't inform me that you are no longer available. And it's via text message. Married and Mommying says set the bar now. We're setting the bar now. Let me tell you something. My parents met, oh Lord, I don't want to say. I know they got married in the 70s. So they met in the 70s, right? My parents is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but they met in St. Lucia. My mom was going to school, and I think my dad was vacationing or something in St. Lucia, right? So when my mom was in school, she was being boarded, taken in by a family friend or whatever while she was in school in teachers college. And they met and they had a date. They had a few dates when my dad was vacationing there. While they were dating, and this is just going out, I guess, I don't know, taking strolls on the beach, going to a bar, I don't know what's available, right? While they were dating, there was one time that he was supposed to pick her up at X amount of time, at X time. I don't know, let's say 7 o'clock. She says like it was 9 o'clock, and he was a no show. I'm gonna say no call, no show, because I don't want to be ignorant. I'm sure they had a landline, but they didn't have a cell phone. There was no text messaging. There was no email. Like, there was no other opportunity. Like, the expectation that he had to come knock on the door, right? 9 o'clock comes, he's still not there. She asked the woman, the family friend who was boarding with her, to turn off the lights in the house. Turn off the lights. Because when he finally rolls by to pick my mom up, she's not home. She's not available to you. How dare you, daddy? How dare you, daddy? Who you think you are? You gonna leave my mom just sitting there waiting and think that she's gonna be on the porch waiting for you? Now, she did give him a second chance, and thank God, because that produced my two sisters and me, right? However, the point is, you have to establish what your boundaries are from the absolute beginning. What you're not going to do is do a no call, no show when we have text messaging, phone calls, emails, DM, inbox, and every other opportunity to communicate, to say that something has come up and you're unavailable. That's not what we're doing. So again, to the young lady who asked, what do I do about a guy who does a no call, no show for our third date? How do I handle it? It's already been handled. He handled it for you. You're going to continue that handling by, you could introduce him to the block party if you want, or if he does decide to communicate with you at some point, you can ask what happened. I don't know if there's been clarity on that. And unless he's dead, which he can't contact you, someone else died and I want to see the documents, or he was seriously hospitalized, it's been handled. You have to establish that you will not accept foolishness from these people. Like, as man, woman, damn near child, right? Like, even children are expected to, through COVID, send an email and say, hey, teacher, I'm going to the doctor. I'm going to be out today. Like, there is no reason why this human being could not contact you as a fellow human being and communicate and say, I'm unavailable and I can catch you up later, or not catch me up, but come on. Because if you allow this kind of behavior to occur right now, then how much worse is it going to be moving forward if you become committed, if you move in together, if you get married, if you have children? He's going to feel as though he has the right to, or she, it doesn't matter. Because ghosting is disgusting, period. I don't care who it is, and there's no excuse for it, all right? These people are going to feel as though they have a right to mistreat you, and that's not going to happen. It's already been handled, okay? So Dion says, this is the truth. I was stood up once after I drove from Canarsie to Manhattan. There's cell phones. There's absolutely no reason why you cannot communicate and just say, I can't make it. You don't even have to tell the story if you don't want to. Now, we could talk about what I would do if somebody didn't tell me the story. I still ain't giving you a second chance if you can't tell me why you're standing me up. But at minimum, please be decent, communicate. Let's talk about ghosting for a second. Let's talk about it. As I just said, I am not a fan. I am not a fan of ghosting because it is so easy for you to tell someone you're no longer interested. So I get this question all the time. And so let me give you an example. If you are dating, what you may consider saying. This is what I would say, but what you may consider saying. If you are matched with someone and you have come to the realization that you are not pleased with how things are going with the personality match, it's not appropriate, whatever you want, right? I think it is not too much to ask to send a message. You don't have to call them. You don't have to meet up with them. You don't have to FaceTime them. But is it really going to hurt you to simply say, hey, James, it's a pleasure meeting you. However, I don't think that we are a good match, but I do wish you all the best moving forward. Is it going to kill you to do that? I'm not saying that you have to say, we're not a good match and this is why. You live at home with your mama. You got 3 kids. Like, this is not a good match because I did not like the fact that you didn't pull out my chair and open the door. We're not a good match because, I thought that the distance would be okay, but the fact that you live in Connecticut and I live in New York, it's just too much. You don't have to give the reason, but you can be a decent human being and say, I just don't think it's an appropriate match, but I do wish you all the best moving forward. Now, if you're afraid that this person's going to curse you out, curse you stink, right? Then this is what I recommend that you do. You send the message, you make sure it's delivered, and then introduce them to the block party. That way, you don't have to be worried about whether or not they're going to curse you. You don't have to be worried whether or not they're going to harass you. You've blocked them. It is what it is. If you feel like they're going to curse you, most times they're not going to respond at all. Very few times they'll say, okay, thanks for letting me know. And then in the rarity, they may curse you. Who do you think you are? Blah, 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 blah. But you can send the message. And what I find ironic is that a lot of women complain about being ghosted once they've been dating a guy for a significant period of time, maybe a few weeks, a few months. However, they have no problem ghosting others, ghosting men who reach out to them when it's initial. So they feel like, oh, well, there isn't much of an investment. We only had a few conversations, so I can just ghost. But when a man does it back to you after there's been some kind of communication, now magically there's an expectation. No, 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 no. What you put out is what you get back. If you are in communication with anyone, no matter how far along that communication is gone, even if it's just a few messages versus a few dates versus a few encounters of the adult kind, as a decent human being, send a message. It is not too much to ask for to simply say, it's been a pleasure to get to know you, but unfortunately, James, I just don't think that we're a good match, but I wish you all the best. And if you are really afraid that they're going to curse you stink, block party. Block party. And that's the end of that. Okay? So, moving right along to the next question. Someone asked, what are some ways to meet Christian guys online outside of using apps? What are some ways to meet Christian guys online outside of using apps? Okay? So outside of using apps, so obviously, well, not obviously, we're going to go presumptuously, if that's a word. So presumptuously outside of the standard dating apps, outside of Christian Mingle and things of the sort, how would you meet Christian men? Well, I'm going to answer this question as how do you meet people online outside of dating apps, which would apply to men or women or any identity, which would apply to any religion. So outside of dating apps, the other way that you can meet people online would be through Facebook groups. Facebook groups are an excellent opportunity for you to network, socially network, but network online. And you join groups of like-minded people. So this particular person asked about meeting Christian men. So joining Christian groups on Facebook would be an amazing way to meet like-minded people. If you are into fashion, if you are into fitness, whatever your interests are, joining Facebook groups of other people in your region, in your city, in your state, in your whatever, right, that have a similar interest will help you to network with those people, which may give you the opportunity to transition from the group to, what is it called on Facebook? Instant message, IMs, whatever, private PMs, whatever it's called on Facebook. So if you are staunchly against dating apps, which I am the opposite, I am for dating apps. So if you're staunchly against dating apps and you want an opportunity to meet like-minded folks, other Christians, other fitness gurus, other actors, other business folks, whatever, go onto Facebook, put in the search bar that you're looking for Christian groups in Brooklyn. Acting groups in California, whatever it may be. You go to Facebook groups, you scroll through, you look for groups that have a similar topic or title. You look for groups that are in your area because, again, the real purpose here is that you want to date someone who's like-minded. So you want to make sure that you are grouping yourself and meeting with people who are similar and who are in your area. So you look for Christian groups in New York City or whatever it is. Look for the groups that have a significant amount of people. I would say high hundreds to thousands. You don't want tens of thousands because then all the messages get lost. And then you socially network. You post messages. You share what your exercise regimen is, or what verse in the Bible really touched you, or what movie you were just in. Whatever your thing is, right? And then that's how you can socially network using not dating apps, but social media to meet your mate. Now, my second point that you didn't ask me, but I'm going to continue on, is this. Make sure that your profiles, your social media profiles, are a match to what you say that you're looking for. So if this particular person said she's looking for a Christian man, then I'm going to make sure that my Facebook is reflective of that value, my social, my Twitter, my Instagram, whatever. Because you can't say that you want a Christian man, You're searching for this Christian man in Facebook groups and dating apps and things of the sort, and then you're posting things that folks might think are not Christ-like. So please be mindful that what you say that you're looking for, and this goes back to what you will hear me and plenty of other coaches say. Hopefully I say it a little bit with some more zhuzh on it, right? But you are looking for someone who is an energy match to you. So what you put out is what you will get back, right? These are basic like rules of the universe. So we can't say, oh, we're looking for a Christian man, and then we dance into back that ass up in every other video, right? Like, we got to be practical and realistic about what we put out is what we're going to get back, because you're gonna get to that Christian man, and then he's going to do his due diligence. He checks your profiles. He doesn't think that you're behaving in a Christian-like way, and then he ghosts you, and then you mad. How, Sway? How you mad? We have to be making sure, I don't know, that's not even proper English. We have to be sure to project what we're looking for, okay? So I am the great goddess. I literally get this question every day, and it's my fault because I need to put it in my FAQs as a part of my highlights. So I get this question every day. What are some good dating apps? Okay, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. So if you would have asked me this like 3 months ago, I would have said, there is no such thing. And I'm going to give you the quick reason why, because I say this a lot and I don't want to bore others. And I am going to make an FAQ. And I should just make a video and then post it into my highlights to answer this question. There's no such thing. And the reason why is not because dating apps aren't good or don't have the potential to be good. The reason why there's no such thing as some good dating apps is because each app is created for its audience. So what's good for me as a 34-year-old woman may not be good for you if you're a 24-year-old woman. May not be good for college kids. Yes, there are college dating apps. May not be good for someone who's 50. May not be good for a Christian. May not be good for a Jew. May not be good for a farmer. May not be good for a lawyer. So there are no hard and fast answers in regards to which apps are good. The question is, which apps are a good match for you? So I did a 5-day Find Your Mate challenge a couple of weeks ago. The challenge is available in my bio. If you click the link in my bio, you will see the 5-day challenge. It was free when I did it live. It's no longer free, but I think it's like $19. In the 5-day Find Your Mate challenge, I talk about what you need to do in order to do the research to find the app that is the best fit for you. Somebody might be thinking, why am I doing research to figure out an app? Because if you're going to spend money on it, then you should do the research. When I buy something on Amazon, I click on 4 or plus stars only, and I read through the comments to see if there's anything that's problematic about it, right? I want feedback. I want to know, is this hard to assemble? Does it not look like it's pictured? I need to do the research before I invest my money. And yes, you are investing money. You're not being cheap. You're not going with the free apps because you get what you pay for. What you put out is what you get back, right? So if you're paying for these apps as you should, then you should be doing some research to see which app is a good match for you, which I speak in length in my 5-day Find Your Mate challenge, which is located in my bio. Click the link in my bio, scroll, you will see 5-day Find Your Mate challenge. It was originally $49 and now it's $19 or something like that. Well, click the link in my bio and I give all the details as to how to find the right app for you, okay? Dion says, I narrowed down some apps finally. Yes, because that's due on Sunday. So you better have your apps. Let's go. Okay. So as I said, for some reason, Instagram did not allow me to go back into my story from yesterday to see all of the questions. So those are the only questions I was able to grab in my activity. If you asked me a question and you're on this live stream now and I don't have it and I didn't answer it, I love you and I'm sorry. Put it in now. If you see this live stream after because you're looking for the answer of the question I asked you, then feel free to DM me and I'll just answer you directly, and I apologize. So I did receive 3 questions in the question queue. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read those and let's see what I can answer today. So someone said, why do I keep attracting the same men? Why do I keep attracting the same men? I want you guys to give me some insight before I respond. While I'm responding, why do I keep attracting the same men? You keep attracting the same men for a list of reasons. One or more may apply. You keep attracting the same men because the energy that you put out is exactly what you're getting back in those men, and you don't realize it, right? That could be one. Two, you're attracting the same men because that's what you like, and you don't realize it. You are the good girl, and you like the bad boy, and then the bad boy comes into your life and makes a mess, and then you're surprised. So you are choosing these types of guys because in your heart of hearts, those are the guys that you happen to like right now. Okay? So one, you're putting out, whatever you're putting out is what you're getting back. You're putting out someone who's emotionally unavailable, but you have your own walls up and you don't even realize it. And then you're upset, but it's okay because you didn't know. And now you know. So one, either you're putting out, you're getting back what you put out, or two, that is what you like. You like problems. You like a mess. You like cleaning up a mess. You like building things up. You like projects. And so you are attracting those types of people because that's what you actually like. But I use the word attract because that's like the buzzword, but let's stop using the word attract. We got to stop using that word. I'm going to still use it, but in this instance, we got to stop using the word. It's not about what you attract. It's what you choose to allow into your life. So you may attract a certain type of guy, but then you can choose to not allow that quote unquote certain type of guy into your life. You can choose to date the guy that isn't necessarily drawn to you, because that's what attraction means, right? Something that's drawn to you. You can make an effort to break that cycle and approach someone who isn't necessarily drawn to you. They think that you're attractive. They want to get to know you, but they're not drawn to you. You can make a choice to not date those who are drawn to you. You are not a magnet in like the scientific sense, where as soon as that other side of the magnet comes together, you're stuck and you have no choice. The Lord gave us will. You have a choice. So if you are finding that you keep attracting a certain type of guy that's not good for you, then you can choose, in essence, to not date that type of guy. You can make an effort to step out of your comfort zone. You can make an effort to date others who don't necessarily grab your attention, but they are still valuable. I mean, we're all valuable human beings, but valuable in the sense that it's a good energy match for you. They are physically attractive because that matters, and I would never lie to you and say otherwise. That is where you want to be or where you are currently. You have to make a choice. I am sure, I usually don't speak about celebrities, but I am sure that Sierra thought that Future was the type of guy that she wanted, right? Exciting and fun and this and that. And she said on her own interviews that she made a choice, one, obviously, to end the relationship, even though he says otherwise, but I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. She made a choice to leave that relationship, and she made a choice to date someone who was different. Even though she dated him, she dated 50, which I would say is probably similar in that regard, like the bad boy type. Bow Wow, which may not be a bad boy, but still is living that like kind of fast life, on tour life, rapper life, right? She chose to date someone that was outside of who she necessarily attracted, and which at least as of now is seemingly very happy. So instead of talking about why do I keep attracting the same types of people, say to myself, I notice I'm attracting these people. What can I do to change my energy so that I don't attract these people? But more importantly, I can choose to not date these kind of toxic folks, which is another word that we throw around and I hate, but it proves the point. We can choose to not date those people. Just because they are attracted to you doesn't mean that you have to be with them. Date outside of your natural attraction. Date someone who is attractive. Date someone who has the qualities that you're looking for. Choose not to date those who are necessarily attracted to you. All right, we have some comments. So, Reckless and Rich says, you are on that level of the guys you attract. Level up. Perhaps, right? I mean, I know a lot of women who date projects. Like date people who are quote unquote beneath them, like socially, right? Or financially. So that could be it. Leveling up puts you in a different circle, right? If you are flipping burgers and you want to date a millionaire, unless that millionaire is going through your drive-through, what's the chances you're going to meet them, right? Like you have to put yourself in a position to meet the types of people that you want to be around and potentially be friends with and potentially date. What works is that you look for someone different. Exactly what I said, right? You can choose to date someone else. You don't have to date who you attract. Faith Not Fake says, does complete compatibility matter? Okay. So complete compatibility. I think you gotta give me a little bit more context. I think compatibility matters, right? Like personality. Why I hate whys. That's not. You're never supposed to put whys at the end of a word. In terms of unless it's otherwise. In terms of compatibility, yes, compatibility matters, right? Like personality has to mesh and make sense. I don't know what complete compatibility means, so maybe you have to give me a little bit more. Coco says, how do you level up exactly? So it really depends on what you're looking for. So again, I don't know what the root of the question was, but if we're talking about someone who is, let's say this woman is a lawyer. That's an easy career. Is a lawyer, and she keeps attracting gentlemen who are unemployed, or actually no, we got to do it the other way. Because we were talking about specifically about women stepping up to be in a circle, right? So if leveling up to you means salary, then it means finding another job or going back to school. If leveling up is in terms of education, that means going back to school. If leveling up means your look, your appearance and how you present yourself, that means looking into ways to improve your appearance. If that means lashes and eyebrows and learning how to apply makeup and doing your hair more frequently, or wearing more jewelry, or wearing nicer items, like it really depends on what leveling up means for you. I can't answer that question, right? I can answer that question for me. I know leveling up for me would be adding some damn decor to my house so that it doesn't look like a pad, right? Like a bachelor pad. That would be leveling up my living environment. Leveling up for me would not be going back to school. I'm not going back to school. You couldn't pay me. But leveling up might be my appearance, right? Like when I go outside, I'll be looking rough. Like maybe I need to make an effort to not wear a scarf to the supermarket and the bank and all those kinds of things. So really, I can't answer that question hard and fast for you, Coco, but leveling up depends on your sorry, y'all, I had a call. Depends on the definition of where you are and where you want to be. I can't answer that. So where are you? Where do you want to be? Leveling up could be your credit. Leveling up could be, yep. Look for what you want and you feel like you deserve. Absolutely. Next question. I watched your Zoom video and it was fab, but I'm still not clear on how to be a catch and not doing the catching. Is this physical appearance or what? So I think that goes right back to the question in regards to leveling up, right? So if you want to be the catch versus running after others so that you're doing the catching, then you have to level up, whatever leveling up may mean for you. If it's appearance, then yes, right? So if you know you ain't got no eyebrows, maybe you need to get the semi-permanent brows, right? Look for somebody who does it, get those done. If it's makeup, if it's hair, if it's your physique, if it's working out, if it's drinking water to clear out your skin, it really depends on what leveling up looks like for you. It can be education. It can be salary. It can be general presentation, right? Like I told you guys, I'm super transparent. I know that I am rough. I'm rough. From Brooklyn, Caribbean background, rough, hard back West Indian, right? So a part of my effort of leveling up for me is becoming more feminine. So I have a friend who's a coach. Ask Miss Cassandra. So she has videos about femininity. I watch it, right? I go to YouTube. I'm not in a position where I feel like I need to invest in order to get to this goal. However, if I needed to, and there are femininity coaches, like invest in them. So with y'all stimmy that millions of people got today, you need to consider investing in yourself. Invest in your business. Yes, I am the great goddess. Reckless and rich. Yes, you can pray on it. Rough in my presentation. In my Brooklyn presentation, I'm doing it. I can't see it a lot, like because it's under here. But there's a lot of this going on. So rough in the presentation, not in the appearance, child. This is no makeup. Come on now. But rough in my presentation. All right. I believe there is 2 more questions. Okay. I'm shy. How can I be more proactive in speaking to men? I'm shy. How can I be more proactive in speaking to men? Okay, so what I would recommend is, first of all, you have to be in places to be spoken to, right? And speaking to doesn't only have to be face to face, even though things seem like they're on the trajecting up, right? In regards to being able to be out and socialize by 4th of July, God willing. but be in places where you can even be spoken to. You can't be spoken to in your bedroom, curled up, eating ice cream, watching Netflix, where I like to be. You can't. No one can approach you if you don't put yourself in a position to be approached. So we talked about earlier in the live, joining a Facebook group that has similar likes in your region, in your city, in your state, in your whatever, right? So then that way you are socializing with people who are similar to you. And then that may transition to an instant message, a DM or whatever. Joining a dating app. In essence, I'm saying this lovingly, you cannot be away from the world and expect the world to come and find you. It's not going to happen. You have to at least be present. I'm not saying that you have to be the one who approaches a gentleman, but you have to be present. If you are not present, you cannot be seen or heard or approached. So if that's dating apps, just like the activity of having a profile that's well put together, and I have videos about how to put together a solid dating profile. If that means joining Facebook groups or other social media networks that allows you to talk, like Clubhouse allows you to talk, Twitter allows you to talk. There's a lot of socializing there so that you're present. Going out, so especially now that things are opening up across the country, going to places, going to wherever places may be. If that's a Barnes and Noble, Black people, not Barnes and Nobles. If that's a Barnes and Noble, if it's a bar, if it's a coffee shop, whatever it may be, if you're in a position to do that and you feel safe, then do that. But you have to be present, virtually present or physically present. But unless you're present, you cannot be found or approached or what have you. I hope that makes sense. And one more question, because I got things to do and I love y'all, but I got to go. Why is it so hard to find someone my type? Everyone I meet just wants to have sex with me without wanting to be in a relationship with me. And it kind of tails off. It goes, I think you're going to say sad. I am S-A. I'm sad. Okay. So this relatively goes back to what you're attracting. So it seems as though you're attracting a lot of gentlemen who are not into attracting and choosing, potentially, gentlemen who are not looking for a long-term relationship. I have a couple of questions. One, how old are you? I have a lot of ladies who DM me who are in their early 20s, and they are talking about like having a difficult time finding men to commit. If you are dating other men who are in your 20s, yes, you're going to have a hard time finding men who are going to commit because they may not potentially be in a position. This is not all 20-year-olds or 20-somethings. Generally speaking, there's no pressure. There's no stress. This is a time where he and she are supposed to be living their life, enjoying themselves, socializing, getting to know people, having experiences. So depending on how old you are, the expectation that someone wants to be with any one person, it may not be you, but to be with any one person for the long haul is probably an impractical thing. Number two, I'm going to say exactly what Reckless and Rich just said. Stop giving up the sex. So I didn't get exactly that you were giving it up. You said that's all they're looking for. I don't know if you've chosen to give it to them, but don't give it to them. Right? We can't be upset with people when they tell us what they want. We give in and then they dip. Like if you're in a conversation with a gentleman and in the first set of conversations they're talking about sex, all they want is sex, don't continue that conversation. Like we have to be a little bit more mindful of reading the room or reading the conversation and knowing where things go. If you are uncomfortable with the conversation, don't continue it. If you are uncomfortable about the way that things are going, don't continue it. And more likely than not, they're going to tell you they're not interested or they're going to ghost you, which is perfectly fine. Let them, because y'all were not on the same wavelength. But we have to be mindful of if this person is talking about let's go on a date and that date is in their house or your house, this is what they want. Don't give into it. And then they will remove themselves. But again, I don't know how old you are. I don't know where you are in the world because that matters. Cities matter, right? And it's unfortunate, but it does. So those may be some factors. But nonetheless, if you're coming across gentlemen who are only wanting you for your body, don't give it to them. And they will make it clear because they're going to try to have sex with you extremely early, have conversations about sex extremely early, or get you to their house or your house extremely early. If you're uncomfortable, don't do it. That way, yes, you may be coming across gentlemen who only want that, but at least you don't feel played because you stopped the game before they could try to play you. Okay? Someone asked, which pictures attract men in a positive way for long-term relationships? Okay, on your dating profile, you're asking. So I have a 5-day challenge. The link is in my bio where I talk specifically about which pictures to choose. I want to say it's day 3 of the day 5 challenge. I'm not exactly sure, but click the link in my bio. Go to 5-day challenge. It's called the Partner You Deserve 5-day challenge, or how to find a partner 5-day challenge, something along those lines. And every day I give you concrete steps on what you need to do to use your dating apps to find a mate. So I answer that question in my 5-day challenge. Okay? Nonetheless, folks, you guys are amazing and I love you and I got to go. So please feel free to share this page with anyone who you think can benefit from any of the advice that I'm offering. Please feel free to share this with a friend who you think could just needs a swift kick in the right and needs some truth, and continue to like and share and save. So for the creators in the room, saving on Instagram is the #1 way that we get up in the algorithm. So save stuff, even if you don't need it, just save it and like it and share it and comment more than 4 words. That's going to help us. Again, for everyone who's joining, thank you. I'm Allison from Align with Allison. I'm a dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with women to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve, but I will gladly work with men who are willing to do the work, and couples as well. Go ahead and click the link in my bio for my free training, The Partner You Deserve. It's for men and women and whatever other identity that you are. Click the link in my bio for that free training. Click the link in my bio for my free ebook, Move On. And click the link in my bio for the paid stuff too, because you got your stimmy. Invest in yourself. Stuff starts at like $17 and up. Invest in yourself to become the best version of you. I love you all. Thank you for saying that I'm awesome and I'm trying to keep up the good work. Go Al, go. You sound like a cheerleader like I used to be. All right, folks. Adios.